Well, the matchup is set for Super Bowl 55. You're going to have Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. And I'll tell you what, at the end of the AFC Championship broadcast, Tony Romo, as good as he always is, had
Great.
something, a little bit he threw in there that I thought was really good and something we should talk about.
Yeah.
And he said, what we're going to witness in 2 weeks would be the equivalent of seeing Michael Jordan versus LeBron. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you think about it in a way that Jordan retired maybe a little bit early, Brady's 43 now.
Yeah.
Jordan still had many years left in the tank, but let's just say we take Jordan after his last NBA championship, last finals,
Sure.
versus LeBron, maybe at the end of that first stint he had in Cleveland. And I think it's a very fair comparison to make versus where Brady is as the GOAT and maybe the young GOAT in Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, I love the comparison. First off, love Tony Romo in the booth. I mean, maybe a little questionable with him on the field, but I don't think we've seen a better guy in the booth in many years, so gotta love it.
Did you see in the broadcast, he actually called after Tampa Bay lost to the Chiefs earlier in the season. I believe it was week 5. They were shaking hands, and we all know how Romo will always call plays before they happen.
Yeah, Nostradamus up there.
They were shaking hands, and Romo said at the end of that game in week 5, I think this is who we're going to see playing in Tampa at the end of the season. So
yeah, it's incredible. Like you said, he calls plays. The guy knows football in and out, and he can translate it to a mic, and that's a thing a lot of guys struggle with. But back to this conversation here. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has been the best quarterback in the league really since he started. His second season, he began starting for the Kansas City
3
Chiefs.
years.
He threw 50 TDs at the age of 22, I think it was 23. Since then, he's been the best QB in the league recently. Tom Brady, on the other hand, has been the best QB in the league for 2 decades now.
Yeah.
And to see these guys battle it out, and I tell you what, man, you're going through these playoffs. We saw. You look at Drew Brees in New Orleans, struggled a little bit, just didn't look like the Drew Brees of old. But here you see Tom Brady, man, still just absolutely killing it
Slinging
out here.
it.
I mean, we have the 2 best QBs, no doubt, battling it out in Tampa for the Super Bowl. And tell you what, man, sitting back watching yesterday's game, I just tell you, only thing I could think about is Father Time is undefeated, except for when it comes to Tom Brady.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he's 43, and I go back and think about Manning at the end of his career, Breeze, who is now calling it a career, Brett Favre, who came and went, even Kurt Warner. And, Peyton Manning, I went back. I was in Denver at that AFC Championship, one of his last seasons, saw him play in Seattle the next year, and when he won Super Bowl 50, that dude could barely get the ball to the hash. He was all here up top, which is how he made a career, but his arm was gone. And
no more 20-yard out routes.
No, and you even look at Breeze this year. Breeze could not throw the ball down the field.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look, they actually had to bring in Jameis Winston on that reverse play to throw a 40-yard pass.
Yeah.
So,
and what he's done, what Brady's done training-wise to stay at 43, eventually Father Time will win that battle, but he looks like he has a solid 2+ years left in him.
Yeah.
Some of those throws he made yesterday, just on a dime. We're not talking like touch passes. I mean, he had several.
He's throwing ropes.
He's throwing ropes. He had a throw to Godwin that was unbelievable. If a guy was throwing that ball in college, scouts would be going crazy over his draft stock. But then he's throwing a 45, 50-yard bomb to Scotty Miller down the sideline before halftime, perfectly thrown in stride.
Oh, yeah.
But you go back, Manning was 39 when he retired. Brady's 43. Breeze is 42 now. Favre was 41 when he left with the Vikings. I think Warner was 38, 39.
Sure.
Is the fact that he's doing this at 43 years old, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is, man. I've said it for the last 3 years that this is the year Father Time wins. And call me a Tom Brady hater.
We've been saying it for like 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, call me a hater if you want. The history has shown that starting 3 years ago, that is when guys start to fall off. And I don't know what he does. I don't know if it's some futuristic cryogenic therapy or what Tom Brady's got going on, but it's truly impressive. I mean, I look at that throw to Godwin yesterday. It was like a 10-yard post over the center. And I mean, Tom Brady threw that thing so hard that went right through his hands and off of his chest pad. And to do that at 43, you just don't see guys doing
Godwin
that.
had a look on his face too, like, damn.
Yeah, like he didn't expect that. He knew it was going to have some heat. He didn't expect that. And I mean, it just shows you. I mean, this is why Tom Brady has been the best. I've never been maybe the biggest Brady fan. I can say that, but I can also sit back and respect what he is and what he's done in the NFL. And to be able to go do this without Belichick, I mean, that was such a huge debate too, right? Is Tom Brady anything without Bill Belichick? And now one of them's in the Super Bowl, one's watching from the sidelines.
Yeah, I want to dive into that a little bit. I posted something on Twitter yesterday that the I hate Tom Brady talk, that narrative, it's just lazy.
Sure.
I can 100% get into I hate the Patriots. I remember I was at the first game at Safeco Field back in 99, 2000, whatever. And that's after the Yankees were winning World Series after World Series. And they were playing the Yankees first game at Safeco. And the narrative was, I hate the Yankees. I'm cool with that. We can play that. I hate the Patriots. Patriots, the cheating stuff, all that.
Sure.
Maybe Brady was involved. Maybe he wasn't. But come on, this dude is one of the greatest guys. You look at what he did after Bree's final game, going out playing catch with Bree's kids in the end zone after the game. There was a video that came out yesterday where he asked the section leader, hey, can I give my son a hug? Most dudes like Tom Brady aren't asking. They're being kind of a jerk to the guy. He's an awesome dude. So the narrative of I hate Tom Brady is just lazy. I will say this, though.
It's kind of the villain side of things, though, right? That's why people hate Tom Brady, because let's face it, he's beat your favorite team.
Well, and I'll tell you what, though. Let's dive into the whole Brady versus Belichick talk. And
sure,
people are saying, well, without Belichick, Brady is nothing. Well, how did the Patriots do this year? They went 7-9, which was third in their own division in the AFC East. People said, well, Brady's just a system quarterback. This is a guy who's now been to the Super Bowl 10 of his 20 seasons. I think that the Bucs just...
That's such an amazing stat. Real quick.
Yeah.
Can we just stop for a second? 20 seasons in the league and 10 Super Bowl appearances.
It's crazy. And I don't have it in front of me.
I don't know if we'll see that again.
But he's lost in the AFC Championship numerous times during that, at least 3-4 times.
Yeah.
And so when the Bucs made the playoffs, that's where a little bit you're like, because they didn't have a great start to the season. And, and people were even saying, gosh, Brady's really, he wishes he wouldn't have gone, which wasn't his choice. But when they made the playoffs, he said, wow, okay, Belichick's sitting at home, Brady made it. Then they made the NFC Championship. Just winning yesterday's game, I think the debate is over. Was it a Brady success? Was it Belichick's success? Belichick never accomplished anything before Tom Brady came to town. And nothing would make me happier than to see him struggle now that Brady has left. I will go this far with it. Regardless of what happens in the Super Bowl, Tom Brady is the GOAT. There is no, can Mahomes, just like LeBron, one day overtake him? Maybe. But I believe that if Tom Brady would have decided to go to San Francisco, for instance, I think we'd be looking at a Niners-Chiefs Super Bowl. It's the Tom Brady effect. You put him on 5 to 10 teams in the NFL, and he's taking them to the big game.
Yeah. I mean, I have to agree with that. It's just, at this point, the guy is so good at football. And it goes beyond just throwing a football. I mean, I know they brought it up a couple times in the broadcast in yesterday's game and the games this week as well. But one of the things Bruce Arians said about Tom Brady is that New England didn't let Tom Brady coach. I will sit back and let Tom Brady coach and just watch sometimes. And for a coach of Arians' pedigree, I mean, Arians been around. And for him to sit back and say that to the media about a QB, that I will sit back and let this guy do my job, it just shows you there are different athletes who can operate at an elite strategic level, and then there are athletes who can play at elite strategic levels. It's very rare you see athletes that are able to really work both sides of that so efficiently. I mean, LeBron can do it in the NBA. We've heard about him calling out plays as they're happening and defenders being taken off guard. But, I mean, these guys are just in their own class. And Tom Brady really settling this. My thing on this, if he beats Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, if Tom Brady wins this Super Bowl, will we ever sit back and say that Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady?
No. No,
Like,
I mean,
no matter how many he reels off. Tom Brady retires next year after winning this. Mahomes reels off 3 in the next 5.
well, what we're
You give him
hearing
that?
on Mahomes right now is a lot of what Steph gets in the NBA. Well, you take KD off, no Clay, it's lazy.
disagree
you
with all
put
that.
you put Steph on any
Sure.
team in the NBA.
Sure.
He's a stud. Is what we're starting to hear with Mahomes as well. Once Reed's gone, or could you imagine if he didn't have Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce?
I mean, the dude can throw a football over the mountains right there, bro. It doesn't need any of those guys. They help him, of course.
It's lazy, but I love that point that if Brady pulls this out, if Brady beats Mahomes in his prime, Brady's not in his prime.
No.
Mahomes is in his prime.
Absolutely.
Mahomes will be chasing ghosts the rest of his career because
Yeah.
he could win 7, 8 Super Bowls,
But you lost the heads up.
but you lost to a 43-year-old Tom Brady.
I can't disagree with you, man. I think you are chasing ghosts. I absolutely agree.
I think that it is, you like to watch, you like to see the underdog win. I heard a lot of people yesterday say, I'm really pulling for the Bills. When Mahomes got hurt, if you're a Bills fan, you're hoping he stays in concussion protocol. As a football fan, if you don't have a team in the Super Bowl, you've got to be thrilled because you get to sit back and watch this unfold. If your team's not in it, you want to see best versus best. And,
of course.
I don't think a lot of people thought the Bucs would be sitting in this position, but now that we're here, having the opportunity as a fan to watch one of the greatest of all time in Tom Brady, probably the greatest of all time in Tom Brady, take on Patrick Mahomes, who is considered the best player in the NFL right now. It's just a treat to watch.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. Super Bowl 55 is just 2 weeks away, so just enjoy it. We don't get to watch a whole lot of moments like this, so we'll see. Does Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, this Bucs team, the first team in the history of the NFL to play at home, do they have one more game in them to win the Lombardi Trophy?